Welcome, the rare gems. Being a Sigma female is no walk in the park. You stand apart, not because you try to, but because of who you are at your core. You're independent, strong, and unapologetically yourself. You value depth over drama, quality over quantity, and peace over chaos. But this uniqueness can make relationships complicated, especially with those closest to you. Here's the hard truth. Not everyone will celebrate your strength. Some people, even the ones you trust, may feel threatened by your self-sufficiency or envious of your quiet confidence. Their insecurities can lead to actions you never saw coming. Betrayal. This isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a revelation of their limitations. In this video, we'll explore why betrayal happens to Sigma females and how it can become a tool for growth rather than a scar. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, this is for you. Stick around, you'll find wisdom, strength, and the insight to navigate these challenges with grace. Number 1. Their emotional independence is misinterpreted as arrogance. Sigma females operate on a level of emotional independence that few can fully grasp. They don't lean on others to feel complete, nor do they need constant reassurance to validate their choices or existence. This self-reliance can be intimidating, especially to people who are accustomed to relationships built on emotional interdependence. To these individuals, a Sigma female's calm detachment and self-sufficiency can come across as cold or even dismissive. The truth, however, is far from it. Sigma females care deeply, but they express their care through actions rather than words. They don't fawn over others or engage in emotional theatrics. And this can be misinterpreted by those who equate love or loyalty with constant attention. To someone insecure or overly dependent, her independence can feel like rejection or neglect, even when she's simply staying true to herself. This misinterpretation often breeds resentment. Some people secretly crave the approval of a Sigma female because they recognize her value, but at the same time, they resent her for not needing them the way they need her. This emotional contradiction can push them toward betrayal, be it through passive-aggressive actions, gossip, or outright disloyalty. The irony is that the Sigma female's independence is not about arrogance or superiority. It's about self-respect and emotional clarity. She knows her boundaries, understands her worth, and refuses to dilute herself to fit someone else's expectations. Yet those who don't understand her often twist this strength into something negative, using it as a justification for their own hurtful actions. The Sigma female becomes a target not because she's done something wrong, but because her independence holds up a mirror to others' insecurities. Instead of facing their own flaws, they betray her, a painful reminder that strength can sometimes isolate as much as it empowers. Number 2. They attract users disguised as friends. Sigma females have a quiet but undeniable presence that draws people in. Their strength, resilience, and generosity set them apart, making them a source of admiration and, unfortunately, a target for opportunists. These individuals aren't always obvious. They come disguised as friends, partners, or allies, presenting themselves as loyal and trustworthy. But beneath the surface, they are driven by self-interest, carefully calculating how they can benefit from the Sigma female's resources, energy, or influence. What makes it worse is that Sigma females are naturally giving. They don't boast about their support or seek recognition. They help because it's who they are. This generosity, however, can become a double-edged sword. Opportunists exploit it, taking advantage of the Sigma female's willingness to give without asking for much in return. They position themselves close, observing her strengths and learning her vulnerabilities, all while masking their true intentions. The betrayal, when it comes, is never superficial. These individuals strike where it hurts the most, whether by turning others against her, exploiting her trust, or abandoning her when she needs them most. And because they've positioned themselves so close, their actions feel deeply personal, like a wound inflicted by someone who is supposed to have her back. This isn't a reflection of the Sigma female's judgment, but a testament to the type of energy she attracts. Her strength and independence make her a magnet for people who lack those qualities and wish to leech off them. But for every betrayal, the Sigma female grows sharper. She learns to spot the red flags, to balance her giving nature with healthy boundaries, and to protect herself from those who see her not as a person, but as an opportunity. In the end, the users may win a battle, but the Sigma female always wins the war. Number 3. Their forgiveness is taken as a green light for repeated betrayal. When a Sigma female is betrayed, her reaction is anything but predictable. She doesn't lash out, create drama, or rush to retaliate. Instead, she steps back, assesses the situation, and often chooses to forgive, not because she's naive, but because she values peace over chaos. Her forgiveness isn't a free pass. It's a reflection of her emotional maturity and understanding that holding on to bitterness only weighs her down. But this calm demeanor often gets misread. The person who betrayed her begins to see her grace as a sign of weakness, assuming they've gotten away with it. They mistake her forgiveness for tolerance, her silence for permission, and her kindness for gullibility. This misjudgment emboldens them, making them believe they can repeat their actions without consequences. What they fail to understand is that the Sigma female's patience has limits, and once those limits are reached, there's no going back. Sigma females forgive, but they don't forget. While they may not immediately react, they are always observing, taking note of patterns, and quietly deciding if someone deserves a place in their life. Each betrayal chips away at the connection, and when the final line is crossed, the door shuts permanently. There are no second chances after that, no explanations, no pleas, no negotiations. This finality often catches the betrayer off guard. They assumed they could keep taking advantage of her forgiveness indefinitely. But when a Sigma female cuts ties, she does it with surgical precision. It's not out of spite, but out of self-respect. She knows her worth and refuses to allow anyone to undermine it. In the end, those who take her forgiveness for granted lose something irreplaceable, a relationship with someone who would have stood by them unshaken if only they'd valued her loyalty. Number 4. They're misunderstood in intimate relationships. Sigma females approach relationships differently, and this difference is often where the cracks begin to form. They don't cling, demand constant attention, or feel the need to fill every silence with words. Instead, they value their independence, their personal space, and the freedom to be themselves, even within a partnership. But for romantic partners who are used to more traditional expressions of love and attachment, this can feel unsettling. Her need for space is often misread as emotional distance, her self-sufficiency mistaken for a lack of commitment. When she retreats to recharge or focus on her personal goals, it's not a sign that she's pulling away. She simply understands that balance is essential for a healthy relationship. Yet, for a partner who craves reassurance, this natural tendency can spark feelings of insecurity and doubt. This insecurity can lead to disastrous outcomes. Instead of addressing their fears openly, some partners react by trying to regain a sense of control. They might betray her trust, not necessarily out of malice, but as a misguided attempt to even the playing field or test her loyalty. Whether it's through emotional manipulation, dishonesty, or seeking attention elsewhere, these actions often stem from their inability to comprehend the depth of her love and the quiet ways she expresses it. What makes this betrayal particularly painful is that it's rooted in misunderstanding. The Sigma female isn't emotionally unavailable. She simply loves in a way that prioritizes quality over quantity. Her loyalty is unwavering, her affection genuine, but it's expressed in a manner that requires emotional maturity to appreciate. Unfortunately, not every partner has the patience or insight to see this, and when betrayal occurs, it's often the final confirmation that they weren't ready to handle the strength and complexity of what she brings to the table. Number 5. They don't sugarcoat the truth. Sigma females are not the kind of people who tiptoe around the truth. When they see something that needs to be said, they say it, plain and simple. They're not cruel or intentionally harsh. They just don't believe in dressing up reality with flowery words. For them, honesty is a form of respect, but not everyone sees it that way. For some, their bluntness feels like a mirror held up too close, reflecting flaws or truths they'd rather ignore. This unfiltered honesty often creates a love-hate dynamic. On one hand, People admire Sigma females for their courage and authenticity. They're the ones who cut through the noise, offering clarity when others are too afraid to. But on the other hand, this same trait can make others feel vulnerable, even threatened. The truth isn't always easy to hear, and when it's delivered without sugarcoating, it can sting. For those who aren't secure in themselves, this can feel like a personal attack, even when the Sigma female's intentions are pure. Over time, this tension builds. People close to them might start to resent the way Sigma females always call things as they see them, especially if it forces them to confront uncomfortable realities about themselves. This resentment festers, and betrayal becomes their way of reclaiming some sense of control or shielding themselves from further discomfort. Ironically, the Sigma female's honesty often comes from a place of care. They believe in addressing issues directly because they value the relationship enough to want it built on truth. But not everyone can handle that kind of transparency. Instead of appreciating the strength it takes to be so real, they choose betrayal as an escape from the uncomfortable light the Sigma female shines on their weaknesses. It's not about her. It's about their inability to face what she reveals. We appreciate you, Rare Gems, for being a treasured subscriber. Your consistent support is vital to us and fuels our passion for delivering meaningful content. Thank you for your engagement and encouragement. Number 6. They're too self-reliant. Sigma females are fiercely self-reliant. They don't lean on others to solve their problems, carry their emotional weight, or validate their choices. This level of independence is rare and admirable, but it also creates an unexpected consequence. It alienates people. Many people measure their value in relationships by how much they're needed. When someone doesn't need constant reassurance or support, it can leave others feeling insignificant or even replaceable. This misunderstanding leads to friction. Instead of appreciating the Sigma female's self-sufficiency as a strength, some people take it as a rejection of emotional intimacy. They see her ability to handle life on her own as a wall that keeps them out, even when that's far from the truth. Sigma females don't push people away. They just don't expect anyone to carry their burdens for them. But that distinction is lost on those who crave a more dependent dynamic. When someone feels like they aren't needed, they may start questioning their place in the Sigma female's life. Insecure people often mistake self-reliance for indifference, and rather than confronting these feelings, they act out. Betrayal becomes their way of regaining a sense of importance, even if it's in a destructive way. Whether it's through disloyalty or sabotage, their actions are fueled by the misconception that the Sigma female's independence leaves no room for genuine connection. The irony is that Sigma females value loyalty deeply. They don't need people to fix them or fill gaps in their lives, but they cherish those who stand by them simply because they want to. Unfortunately, not everyone can handle a bond that isn't built on dependence. For some, their inability to feel indispensable turns into resentment, and that resentment often paves the way for betrayal. Number 7. They hold people to their word. Sigma females are not naive when it comes to trust. When they extend their trust to someone, it's because they believe in the integrity of that person. They hold themselves to high standards, and they expect the same from those around them. To them, a promise is sacred, and a commitment is not something to be taken lightly. If someone says they'll do something, the Sigma female believes it, because that's how she operates. But this strong belief in integrity can be a double-edged sword. For those who aren't as principled or honest, the Sigma female's trust becomes a liability. She holds them accountable, and that pressure can feel overwhelming. When people are used to getting away with half-truths or broken promises, they often react poorly to someone who expects them to live up to their word. Instead of stepping up to the challenge, some choose to betray her, finding ways to backpedal or twist the situation to avoid facing their own shortcomings. The Sigma female's unwavering commitment to accountability forces these individuals to confront their dishonesty, which can lead to feelings of resentment or frustration. In these situations, betrayal is almost inevitable. People who can't meet the high standards the Sigma female sets for herself and others will often find ways to justify their actions. They'll make excuses, break promises, and act out, knowing full well that the Sigma female won't let them off the hook. This creates a toxic dynamic where dishonesty builds up until it bursts. The Sigma female, who holds herself and others to the highest standards, becomes a target for backstabbing as those who feel exposed or trapped in their own lies try to distance themselves by throwing her under the bus. Number 8. They unwittingly challenge others' identities. Sigma females live life on their own terms. They don't follow the crowd or conform to societal expectations, and this freedom is both empowering and unsettling to those around them. In thriving outside of the typical norms, they inadvertently force others to question their own choices, lifestyles, and values. People who are comfortable in their routines or who seek external validation may find the Sigma female's independence and self-reliance unsettling. When someone has not developed the confidence to live authentically, witnessing someone else do so can bring up feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. This discomfort can breed jealousy. The Sigma female's ability to carve out her own path without seeking approval makes others feel like they're missing out on something. Instead of feeling inspired or motivated to make positive changes in their own lives, they become resentful. The Sigma female doesn't ask for attention, nor does she want to be a role model, but her very existence forces others to confront the fact that they may not be living up to their potential or living as freely as they could. This kind of self-reflection is uncomfortable for many people, and when faced with these feelings, some choose to react with resentment or hostility rather than embracing the challenge to better themselves. This resentment can slowly evolve into betrayal. Those who feel threatened by the Sigma female's authenticity may feel the need to tear her down in order to protect their own fragile sense of self. Rather than facing their own shortcomings, they try to diminish her, hoping that if they can make her fall from grace, it will somehow make them feel better about their own choices. The Sigma female's existence becomes a mirror, reflecting back the parts of themselves that they'd rather not see, and in an attempt to escape that discomfort, they turn to betrayal. Number 9. They threaten traditional leaders. A Sigma female doesn't waste time learning skills she can't use. Every talent she hones, every ability she refines has a purpose. And that purpose often comes with a price tag. She's strategic about what she learns, focusing on skills that have real-world value and the potential to pay off. For her, knowledge isn't just about self-improvement, it's an investment, and she knows how to cash in on it. What sets her apart is her ability to see opportunities where others see limits. She doesn't fall into the trap of sticking to one rigid career path. Instead, she diversifies, using her broad skill set to take on roles that complement each other and boost her income. Whether it's combining a traditional 9-to-5 job with a freelance gig or balancing 2 part-time jobs that align with her strengths, she makes it look effortless. Her secret? She picks roles that maximize her earning potential while fitting into her lifestyle, not ones that drain her energy. She understands the value of time and effort, so she's not about working harder for the sake of it. She works smarter. She prioritizes skills and jobs that bring high returns, whether that means negotiating higher rates, leveraging her expertise for consulting gigs, or turning a hobby into a side hustle. Every move she makes is intentional, designed to create financial freedom and stability. For a Sigma female, learning isn't about collecting certificates or bragging rights. It's about creating options. She knows that the more versatile her skills, the more doors she can open. This practical approach allows her to navigate multiple roles with ease, making her not just a jack of all trades, but a master of turning those trades into profit. Number 10. Flexibility over expertise. Sigma females have a quiet authority that doesn't rely on titles, positions, or external validation. They lead by example, with their actions speaking louder than words. This unassuming yet magnetic quality often overshadows traditional leaders who rely on formal roles or overt displays of power to maintain control. In social or professional settings, the Sigma female's ability to influence and inspire without even trying can feel like a direct challenge to those accustomed to being in charge. For traditional leaders, their power often hinges on being seen as the ultimate authority. When a Sigma female enters the picture, her presence alone disrupts this dynamic. People gravitate toward her authenticity and strength, not because she demands attention, but because she commands respect naturally. This shift can unsettle those in leadership positions, making them feel threatened. They see her as a wild card, someone who doesn't play by the established rules, but still manages to draw people in. To them, her independence and influence are not just an annoyance, but a potential threat to their position and control. This perceived challenge can lead to betrayal. Rather than acknowledging the Sigma female's value or collaborating with her, traditional leaders may feel the need to undermine her. They might spread rumors, exclude her from opportunities, or even sabotage her success to protect their status. The irony is that the Sigma female isn't trying to take their place. She's simply being herself. But her very existence exposes the cracks in their leadership style, forcing them to face their insecurities. Instead of rising to the occasion and adapting, they resort to betrayal as a defense mechanism, hoping to remove the perceived threat and preserve the illusion of their authority. Being a Sigma female means walking a path not everyone understands, let alone respects. Your independence, authenticity, and unwavering sense of self set you apart, but they also make you a target. Betrayal isn't a reflection of your worth or character. It's often a mirror of others' insecurities and shortcomings. People may envy your strength, misunderstand your boundaries, or feel exposed by your truthfulness. Yet through it all, you stand tall. You were never meant to fit into the molds others create. Your resilience, emotional independence, and ability to navigate life on your own terms make you a force to be reckoned with. Yes, betrayal hurts, especially when it comes from those you've trusted, but don't let it dim your light. Instead, let it refine your ability to discern who deserves to walk beside you. Every betrayal teaches you to value yourself even more and to guard your energy and trust with wisdom. Remember, being a Sigma female isn't just a label. It's a testament to your strength and authenticity. You don't need validation from others, nor do you owe anyone an explanation for who you are. Keep setting your own standards, holding your ground, and living unapologetically. The world may try to test you, but it can never break you. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe, join the conversation, and let's continue exploring what it truly means to be a Sigma female. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and that's what makes you unstoppable. Take care and see you in our next video. God bless.